there's a system in the Western world that somehow does a phenomenal job at painting themselves to look like lifesavers, like the best solution for black men since heaven has sent. And the ironic thing is, this system, the same system that has promised to provide black people with ethical treatment, has been found to do nothing more than scrutinize the black people by giving them false labels, accusations, and setting up systematic procedures which have led black people to be involved in nothing more than a life of stress-induced poverty and oppression, which later contributes to many systematic issues, social issues, to which the black man can no longer get a job, the black man can no longer survive or provide for his family, given that the westernized system has no means possible. Neither do they have any interest of seeing the day that the black man actually is able to rise and provide proper health and foundation for his own people and for his own kind. And this sad reality is, this system can do such a good job at painting a solution for black men, while at the same time, given that access and given that label, covertly work within their organization to ensure that black men are labeled as a result of the centuries of oppression and systematic abuse, which they refuse to take accountability for by all means. And when you really understand the cause of a lot of health-related issues in the black community, history has provided all the research to show that any tragedy related to physical, mental, or psychological abuse within the black community has been as a result of white racism. Any family broken social dynamics within the black community, or most, if not all, reasons the black community struggles in America, has been a result of the inability of the white system to establish appropriate boundaries to keep the black man safe from the stresses of racism, the stresses of psychological pressure, the stresses of having to live up to a stereotype that he has no means of education, that he has no way of breaking through, due to the fact that these same medical doctors and these same people who claim to help the black community have done nothing more than trap the black community in a box. And once you realize that this is the reality that many black people experience, but perhaps do not have the voice or the courage to truly voice across, as the concern is on the basis of potentially being accused of further problems that, keep in mind, the white community has created. These problems eventually become the burden of black people, just like every other problem America has created. They only can resort to solving their problems by using the black community for their own benefit and gain, by labeling the black community, and by ultimately using the black community as a vase, as a jar to store all this hatred that they themselves have been responsible for, but are too in denial about their inability to treat black-related causes, given that their medical system was trained on white DNA for white biology. You are never taught about African biology, because if you were taught about African biology, you would understand that these medical related issues that they diagnose human beings with back in in the Western world, these diagnoses are not integral to Africa, where the black man can call home. The only diseases that you can label that come from Africa are the animal prone or the insect or parasitical prone diseases, but never in, or rarely never in, an African civilization, which does exist and the white people are not aware of and probably deny it till this day. Never will you understand that these African civilizations have been able to actually live peacefully without these labels that America has proposed on the black man. Okay, never have you seen in the African community where there have been problems with racism, where you see there have been problems with isolating somebody for the color of their skin, where in Africa, whether you live in the north or the south or regardless of your religion, you are taught that everybody is considered equal under the law. You are taught that everybody is treated fairly and accordingly. I'm not saying inner conflicts do not exist, but I'm telling you the baseline is, at the end of the day, everybody in Africa identifies as an African. Everybody in white America, in the meanwhile, has solely and covertly worked towards systematically blaming the black man for any tragedy that may have appeared in the news that perhaps involved any sort of oppression, any sort of attack, or anything that white America, should they have been as safe and as free and have the best medical team in the world, how they are not able to cure or to propose an effective solution for the crisis that we see within the black community is beyond me. And I can tell you, it is due to their inability to educate the black man regarding proper health. These black people who you see going to the white medical system never come out better. They're only told that they have to put on the image and the smile to smile away their pain, to focus appropriately on where they come from, and to completely whitewash or brainwash the black man from the cause that he serves, in an effort to subsidize the black man, and to further feel the need to bring more solutions to financially exploiting the black man through medical reasons that limits the black man, through the labels, the false labels that they create to incarcerate and to ridicule the black man, despite the fact that those labels are nothing more than the experience of harassment and abuse and the years and years of systematic lack of equity that the same people who accused the black people of experiencing were the ones who caused the problems themselves. And for as long as these people remain in denial, for as long as these people do not focus on an appropriate solution to make sure that black people receive the catered coping medical effectiveness for the racism, for the abuse, and for the pressure that America has created to strip them away from their motherland, to strip them away ultimately from being who they have been called to be, you will find that these black people remain trapped. And for as long as they remain trapped, there is a very tough road ahead of them, because these doctors have been placed in power, and sadly, due to the fact and the negligence to educate the black man, as these doctors claim they're supposed to do, they failed to do so. And instead of educating the black man, they instill fear within the black man, which is nothing more than their projected fear due to their own perspective and their perception of the so-called image of the black man, which they claim he is violence, which they claim he is oppressive, when the black man has never in his life done anything to initiate any acts of aggression. Certainly not that compared to the brutality that black people have faced for years, simply struggling to fight for their freedom and their peace. You cannot call a black man defending himself against a group of people who do not accept him acts of aggression when that is clearly identified as self-defense. You cannot call a black man under any mental health label that actually has enough evidence to suggest was a result of systematic oppression and systematic procedures that the white community has put in place to make sure that black people do not actually rise above them, and that black people do not have any means possible of figuring out how to deal with the trauma and the stress that perhaps our generations, our mothers have to go through till this day, that our fathers go through trying to put food on our plates, that we go through trying to wonder whether we have a place in their school systems, which have clearly proven that they have no interest in teaching us about Africa. They have no interest in teaching us about our black identity. And this is the realization which you must come to, that how you can generalize everybody and assume that we are satisfied with white doctrine is beyond me. You do not see the countries in Asia teaching white doctrine in their schools. So why is it that the black man is taught only white doctrine and to adopt white biology and white philosophies, such as the false labels that have been nothing more than the same people who accuse him of the label being responsible and actually holding that label for themselves, and using the black man as a scapegoat, as an excuse to hide their negligence to actually treat the black man in a civil and a moral manner. This is the one thing that has never been acknowledged. And for as long as it is never acknowledged, you will always find that black people will continue to struggle within the state of the system that provides no method of support, despite claiming to support the black man, beyond what they have been systematically indoctrinated to do. When a black man is supposedly treated, the black man is told everything that is wrong with him. Like it is his fault that he woke up one day and decided to stress himself out, despite obliging by the law, and having these white people go around and blatantly make it obvious to him that they do not see him as a human being. And we need to remind you once upon a time again, in case anybody tries to hide it, which we know they do, there was a blatant time in history where black people were designated the status of property. Not even animals had that label. Animals were considered to have laws that protected them from any racial abuse or any sort of pressure. But for as long as they continue to deny that experience from the black man, I feel like we're going to have a serious controversial discussion which will bring about many experiences of black people providing testimonies on this basis and on this behalf.